So I'm Nicola. I run two businesses, Technix Solutions Limited and Online Hits Limited. I am basically supporting new startups.
Hello and welcome to Obehi Podcast. I'm your host, Obehi A14, and I strongly believe that everyone has a story to share. Now let's get started with this episode.
I'm a Christian. My faith is very, very important to me, and I have applied these principles in the startups of my company. Invariably speaking, in layman's terms, doing the right thing and at the right time. And so I endeavour to stay on track with those principles. I'm a mother of two, and my two children, Noah and William, are following in mine and my ex-partner's footsteps in the tech world, in business world, and I'm just happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear Nicola. It's a pleasure also on my part to talk to you. Today we are going to be talking about faith in business. I think I want to really hear more about that conversation. Just like, of course, our audience will be happy to hear that. So you talk about principles. I think you want to explain that a little bit. Anyway, before we get there, tell us, how did you get started in business? What sort of moved you into business? Because you could have been doing other things. Do you want to share maybe a kind
Sure.
of a personal story about that?
Yeah, my personal journey with business started when I was about 20 years old, and I just wanted to get out of the 9 to 5. I really just didn't get along with it. Like a lot of 20-year-olds or teenagers, they didn't, starting your own business and, finding your own hours and pay would be, the ideal job. And so I did it. I got books from the library. I had a look at how I would want to be. I set the intention, and I met a guy called Neil Barton. We became partners, personal partners and business partners, and the birth of Design was formed, and the same as NetTag Limited. NetTag Limited was a rebrand from Design, and this was when we were in our early 20s. It was a tech company. It was a startup, and we earned £70,000 in our first year. We were quite valuable to each other, and it was no mean feat. Even today, in today's standards, if you're earning that, if your business is earning that in its first year, it's a very good milestone, or it's good for business. It's good for a startup. Absolutely. To earn that type of money. And that's where it all started, really. Finding somebody that has the types of skills, and coupling, people that are good with marketing, who have got contacts, and the development side of business as well. And that's where it all started, 20 years ago.
That's interesting. And look at where it take you today.
Absolutely.
That's lovely. All right. So just now you were talking about principles that you apply in your business. Which are these principles? Tell us about them.
I think I don't define them. It's actually being able to live in the moment and actually understanding where God would be in this situation. And it's very, very tricky to feel as if God would be supportive in a business sense, because God is seen as a spirit, is seen as something different, and you have to think of being able to do the right thing in the moment. So faced with a hypothetical situation. So if there are it's quite difficult to explain, but if there's,
just make your effort. We are getting it. We are understanding it. We are flowing with you.
Okay. So it's like doing the right thing, treating others how you would want to be treated. These are quite basic scriptural standards. Treating other people how you want to be treated, and applying wisdom and applying understanding. And obviously wisdom is at the start, and understanding is deemed as, possibly you might lose, to gain understanding you might lose everything, but in actual fact, because Jesus arrived, if you're going in with the courage of your convictions, you're not really losing anything, you're gaining. And that's I apply this daily, going into any scenario with the courage of my convictions, with the love in my heart, and truly aspiring to have the best of the situation. So there's a few principles within there, I think.
I understand you that okay, because you're a Christian, that is why you are applying the Christian faith in your business, right?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely.
No.
Yeah.
All right, because otherwise those same principles that you're talking about, respecting others and treating others the way you want to be treated, I believe even those who are not Christian might also have the same principle. So it's perfectly fine. I understand it. That is cool. Now, why do you think it is important to have faith to make sure that faith is relevant in the business that you do? Help me understand that part.
Absolutely. Once upon a time, and I know that you'll hear this because you are a speaker of the storytelling. Once upon a time, a lady said to me, "This is how faith is seen or deemed," and you can apply this in your personal life, and you can apply this in your business life. If you've got a ship and it's sailing across the seas and it needs to stop, you let down the anchor. And nobody can see the anchor, and only the captain and the team that are around him, surrounding him, knows that the anchor has been dropped. But the faith in that moment for the whole ship is that to trust that there is an anchor, and to trust that the anchor is what is supporting that ship to be still and to do its job. So that is the sense of what you can't see, to trust that it's there,
All right, thank you for that. Now, Nicola, how do you define faith within the term of business? For somebody who do not understand what it even means, what do you say about that?
Okay, I would apply the same principle as the anchor. There is so many people, either online or in person, that have specific training or specific roles that can be, that you can meet, and that you can assist each other. And there's different levels of pay, there's different levels of experience, and there is so much help out there for a startup, for a larger corporation that wants to go through a rebrand, for various different HR issues. When you've got a customer-centric area, and these days we all strive to have a customer-centric business where we are focused on delivering and keeping our customers happy, and to trust that what you are doing and the support that is available is concrete and is there. And we've also been through a pandemic, and that is where our faith has been the strongest, because we were at the start of it, we've come through it, and people are still here today. So that's a tribute to faith.
Thank you for that. I also like the way the analogy you use of the anchor and the trust that is going to be there. You talked of customer centrics, and I think that is very important in today's world, where there are a lot of noise out there in the world today. I don't know if you want to expand on that a bit. What is the importance of being customer centric in today's world?
So customer centric, you've spoken about knowledge, and we've spoken about faith. The idea is that they are two different areas, and when you have specific knowledge within the moment and you have specific awareness in the moment, so the scenario that we're talking about at the moment is customer centricity. When you're delivering, let's use the scenario of an online shop, and you've got your drop shipping area, and you've also got to make sure that your customer can reach you. So you've got your website, you've got maybe the chatbots connected to it, you've got your various different avenues to make sure that your customer is comfortable in ordering, and they've got faith that the process, because they've visited your website, they've had a look at, where your reviews are, where your features are, where your updates are, and the type of communication and the type of product that they're purchasing. So the knowledge is in front of them, is with you within the moment, and the faith is within the process. So you're purchasing something online, you have a question, so that you use the chatbot, which could be a messenger chatbot. You go the meeting point or the team of that's within the company that you're ordering from, they reply. Sometimes you'll get a message to say these people will reply within 24 hours, and you've in a customer centricity world, you're making sure that the cogs fit and that they are tight, and that the delivery, wherever you are within the process, can be looked at, can be refined, can be you can listen to your customer, you can understand where they are from, and you can deliver. And that's the fundamental principles of that area.
Because we are talking of faith in business, and maybe also the value that guide, or the guided principles for your business, I want to see, how does that influence the kind of relationship you have with other people and businesses, particularly within the area of business?
The idea is the relationship. It solidifies the relationship. You are trusted more. When you have a solid faith, and when you might be persecuted for it. Some people agree with it, some people don't. And the idea is that it may take time, or it may be instant, but it helps build trust within your relationships on a business level. And when you're networking, when you're because faith comes from a truth basis, and it's knowledge is within the Bible, and you can actually understand where you are on that level. But if you've got learned scripture and fellowship, and it's the strength is within your practices, because faith without works is dead. So on a personal level, you are feeding yourself the relevant doctrine for this particular area, and it's consistent, and you can follow it. And the trust area, especially within business, it helps you to relax, it helps you to digest information easier, and you can rely on it.
Mm-hmm. You can rely on it.
Yeah.
All right, now let's look at the same question from maybe a different angle. Does your faith influence the type of people you can deal with in the area of business? Say maybe, for example, maybe when we come to niche down, deciding maybe what you want to offer and who you want to serve with your business. And does you being a Christian, or using a Christian faith or doctrine as kind of a guiding principle for what you do, influence the type of customer you can have, like, okay, where you're a Muslim, I'm not necessarily focusing on you. I'm interested in the Christian community or Christian people, something like that. Let me understand that.
There's a real word in here. It's called inclusivity. And on a Christian level, I have tried to segregate, and that's not what God wants from me. God wants me to be able to include and welcome. And so I now don't disclude anybody as being my customer. But I do have a process that you find the right fit. So you apply wisdom, you apply a level of understanding of what the needs are and how they will be met. And that's all I can really say, actually. The delivery is within the inclusive nature of that moment. And if you look at a situation via scripture, you're saying, if you find somebody that you really want to work with and that you really like, and everything is wonderful and everything is fine, they are truly wonderful moments. But where's the reward in that? And I think that's the depth of that, is that if you are truly helping somebody, then you'll have more reward.
Now, when you go out to look for clients, because it look like, of course, our businesses need to do that, because if you have something to offer and you are at home, maybe sitting down on your sofa, nobody will know that you have something to offer, and you are never going to sell, maybe only to your immediate family.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you go out to hunt for client or to look for client or people who you want to serve,
Yeah.
what determines what kind of client you want to get, and how do you approach it so that you can get a lot of client to serve and, of course, be able to make money at the end of the day?
Okay, so you put yourself in the right positions, you have a look at where the results are. So if you've got a niche area, a niche market, stands to reason for you to do research within that area, who's doing what, and how they are achieving their results. And you then base your business plan in and around delivering your service to your market, and applying the lead generation area. So you could use social media, you could use a customer relationship manager, you could use the organic route and build this. And it takes more time, but on an organic level, it's healthier, and an organic level, it's more likely to last. Though there is the paid element as well, and that needs to be respected for its entirety.
Here in this podcast, and of course, the demographic that we are serving, we believe so much in the power of storytelling. I don't know if that is anything that is also valuable in your business and how you relate with your client. Is there anything you want to say about that?
I've recently attended the LinkedIn Live, and I have understood where the softness of using storytelling, or maybe a storyboard, to assist you through a process. And it's obviously the Bible is the main life story, and that kind of given to you in the morning will it's like having a shower, it's like cleaning, it's like renewing, it's like the renewal of your mind, the understanding of not holding on to old ground, and using the storytelling process to assist you through life and in business.
And before, you made mention of COVID-19. During the time, of course, that was when this podcast was born. I remember I did a lot of interview with different people. At the point, I was saying this particular event is going to shape our life for many, many years to come. People in maybe 100 years from now are going to make reference to that particular event, even though it lasted for a very short period of time. In that, since our economy have evolved in the way that it has evolved, never a time was all the global economy was actually locked down, where you basically have to start from home. Of course, before that will happen, we have also started to develop the technology that will help us to work from home, like what you are doing now, me and you. I am in Verona, in northern part of Italy, and you are in UK. We are talking as if maybe we are just in the next door. This is something that was not possible several years ago. So what I'm trying to understand there is, what is the effect of COVID-19 in your business or your type of business? If it happened today again, how will it affect your business? Let me understand that. Just a kind of a reflection, personal one.
I think COVID-19 was very, very interesting. We all had to think on our feet. We all had to adapt, and the the um, the uh, the real cold hard facts of the situation is some survived and some didn't. It's quite awful, really. I got busier. My experience grew. I helped set up a publishing company in the pandemic, and I assisted with various other startups in that area. It was very, very tricky to navigate. It was, we did all feel as if we didn't have the full information, and having to exercise my faith in that situation. Some parts of me felt responsible, some parts of me felt the decisions that we make can impact our moment and the wider picture. So we know what not to do now, but objectively, were we ever really that close that these types of things could have impacted us anyway? We've had to go through it, and I believe we're out the other side, and we're thriving. We haven't hit the wall yet, and it's new. It's new for everybody.
Yeah, it's new. Absolutely. Now you have two businesses, which means that you really are fully a business. But what do you like about business? Tell me more about that.
I love being able to manage my own hours. I love being able to talk to people and find out, it doesn't matter what area you're in, or where your background is from. I love being able to talk to people, and I love being able to help, and that's where the real reward is. Not via money, not via the notoriety, but by the actual, if you are truly helping somebody, they will thrive, and that's the feel good feeling.
And I understand that you are in the tech industry, correct?
I am, yes.
All right. Okay. So tell me, what role does technology plays in your business?
I think more along the lines of where marketing is heading, and having your own website is marketing. The SEO side of it is marketing, and understanding how that is delivered and where the results are, and managing people's expectations of that, I do believe. Technix Solutions Limited has dealt with various different aspects of business, startup, and the marketing side of things, so business development and the marketing. And Online Hits Limited is a target marketing company. So that specific has core areas that are, the focus is, online marketing, targeting specific areas, which is new. It's just starting up now, and it's going for investment, and that process has been really, exhilarating, thrilling. That this company can, has board of directors, and the important people that are involved in it, and the value of it already, basically.
Now, you run two businesses. In fact, for many people, they can't even manage to run one. So with me, you must be doing a lot. How do you manage to handle both of them at the same time?
I think it's quite simple. You've got to just, I spoke to my partner last night. It is about just doing it. It is about just picking up, finding where your priorities are, making sure that, those are covered, and putting the process in place, and just, keep doing. It's the action that you take, and it's not necessarily what you know, it's who you know sometimes.
All right. Do you want to tell me that you have had some challenges, or has it all been rosy for you? If you have had some challenges, what has it be? Yeah, tell us, share something with us.
Okay, business challenges I've had. My first ever company, we'll call it NetTag Limited, because it was rebranded as that. NetTag Limited, the challenge there was it couldn't grow, and the different projects that we pitched for, we had a company that was set to rival Netflix, and it was called My Movie Stream, and it did the same as what Blockbuster did, and I think Netflix did at the time. And assisting in that project management area, if the challenges are when you've got very high profile clients, and I wasn't as confident as I am today, and I was speaking about this yesterday, and I wasn't as fear-free. I'm more fearless today than I was then. And the growth of NetTag impacted the growth of other companies as well, and they were major challenges. There was also a £1 million deal with Help the Aged. This was with NetTag, and you do the work, and what you've got to consider is that you have spend exponential time on meetings, conversations, putting a brief together, putting even a prototype together without being paid. And that's where a lot of people will have stumbled, whether they've got investment, whether they haven't got investment. And the idea of it is that you go in with the right people, you go in speaking to the right people, but there was still no guarantee. And the Help the Aged deal, it was hardware and software programming within various different shops within the company, but they decided to employ an in-house director to cover that project. So they decided to do it in-house. We knew that we could have done it better, and I'm not entirely sure how that project went, but the times it takes for a company to actually put in the process and to make it happy, to make sure everybody's happy and everybody's comfortable with it, even without getting paid, is one of the most trickiest. It's one of the most biggest hurdles to overcome. And the next challenge is that, yes, you're building relationships, but you've also got the diversity and inclusivity in a situation where you've got to understand, is another, have you found the right fit, or is another company better? And it's your relationships suffer, especially that balance has to be struck right. And the idea of having a level of understanding in the situation but still remaining with integrity is where you need to be, and your thoughts and feelings might have to be put aside. So there are some of the 3 or 4 main challenges that I've had within business.
Thank you so much for that. So if you were to make a recommendation for people that are starting out in business, something that maybe they should avoid so they can succeed in business, very briefly, what would you say to them?
Just make sure that your fundamentals are set. So, have your idea, and make sure, like any seed, or like any plant, or like any child, you give it what it needs. You put in the information, and you stay with the growth of your company, and you understand that there are people out there that you can even just have a consultation with, and you won't be charged for advice.
Thank you so much for that. That is so important. You won't be charged for it, but that is really very interesting. Now, very briefly, how would you conclude the conversation in your own way? Maybe a message of yours, or you just conclude it very briefly. Please go.
The consistency of applying faith within business will show your results, and you may not see your results straight away, but please know that there is a bigger picture, and you are part of it.
Thank you so much, Nicola. I appreciate the time. I really do. Thank you.
Thank you. Most welcome.
If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you subscribe so you never miss any of our future episodes. Rate and review Obehi Podcast and share with your friends who might need it. I remain Obehi Ewafo. Thank you so much for listening, and talk to you in the next episode.